What is up, everyone? So today, information on Pokemon Sun and Moon. So I'm going to be going over all of it. I have a lot of websites open. I have some pictures open. So we're going to be going over everything that I can imagine that we were given. So first of all, we were given the cover art for Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I gotta say, I do love these cover arts. I think these are the legendaries, by the way, for Pokemon Sun and Moon. We'll be going into more of that later. We were not given an official name or their typings. We were only given the typings of the starter Pokemon, which we will be going into later. And I gotta say, actually, I think so far that I've been reading a lot of what other people have been thinking. I do think that they're getting a little bit too much hate. I think that they're actually pretty good, but we'll be talking about them a little bit later. So down in the description below are the links to both the Japanese trailer and the American trailer, just in case you want to see either one of them. I think that they're both really good trailers. They got me pretty hyped. Hopefully they'll get you pretty hyped also. So, first of all, we're going to start off with the starter Pokemon, and we're going to start off with Rowlet. And I actually think that Rowlet is pretty cool. He is the grass type. He's also a grass flying type, by the way, which is one of the only starter Pokemon other than Bulbasaur to start off with dual typing automatically. Of course, he has the generic ability of Overgrow. He's the grass quill Pokemon, and I'll be reading what we were given. Rowlet can attack without making a sound. It flies silently through the skies, drawing near to its opponent without being noticed, and then lashing out with powerful kicks. It can also attack from a distance using the razor-sharp weaves that form part of its feathers. Evolution-wise, I think it's going to stay grass flying, but just because of what I read here about the powerful kicks, I do think that it will eventually get to learn close combat, similar to Staraptor. I think that this is probably one of the better of the three starters, in my opinion. Yeah, its typing is pretty bad just because 4 times weakness to ice, but I do think that it has a pretty good looking design compared to the others, because, well, when you look at the others, you'll understand it. But I do think that he has a lot of good potential. I think that it will be actually really good and pretty good. Well, same thing. I think he'll just be really good in the end, So here are some more pictures that we were given of him. I think this is pretty funny. This is pretty good. He can turn his head 180 degrees. I like this one. This is a pretty good picture, actually. So here's a little bit more of what we have on Rowlet, who I probably will get, actually. I'm not sure, just because I want to see what their final evolutions are going to be like, but, that's how it always is for me. Its visual abilities are impressive. The darkness of night is no obstacle to Rowlet. It can twist its neck nearly 180 degrees from front to back so it can see directly behind itself. It has a habit of turning its head in battle to face its trainer and receive instructions. The move Leafage attacks an opponent by striking it with leaves. Rowlet knows this move from the moment it becomes your partner. So we were given our first new move in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and that is Leafage. And from my understanding, it's going to be the grass counterpart of Ember and Water Gun. So, because, I mean, it could work. I mean, I don't know. It looked pretty nice, I guess. It's supposed to be the weak beginning type move, like kind of like Razor Leaf is and Absorb at the same time, but I guess they just didn't like those, so they made Leafage. But it's still going to be nice. Rowlet definitely has some potential. I can tell. It'll be really good. Just its typing is so bad to ice. But other than that, I think this is a pretty good starter. Next, we're going to go on to the fire type, and this one is called Litten. It is the Fire Cat Pokemon with the general ability of Blaze. It's a pure fire type when it starts. So, as for Rowlet, I said that he would most likely stay grass and flying. I don't really see why they would change it. Makes sense. And I love this bow tie that they made with the leaves. But as for Litten, I have a really good feeling that it'll evolve into a tiger, its final stage, and it will be a dark and fire and dark, sorry, similar to Houndoom. I could see that working pretty well. Yeah. Logical, but also passionate, Litten always remains cool-headed and doesn't show its emotions on the surface. Well, we can see that in this picture where it's just like, yeah, whatever, I beat up that guy, not a big deal. That's what it kind of looks like to me in this picture. Just, to me, I don't like the color scheme just because fire types are my favorite fire is my favorite type. And so I guess Litten it's a little bit different, just because it's a lot less red than most of the fire types, like Charizard, Chimchar, Blaziken, you know, it's not as red. It's just more, you can tell that it's going to be a dark type. And if it's not a dark type, I'm going to be pretty upset, because I do think that it would be pretty cool as a fire dark type. Here are some pictures. We were given a fur ball of it that it has in it, licking its own fur like a cat, you know. And actually, I like this description. It's pretty interesting. Litten can attack with flaming hairballs. That's just pretty... right there, its ember is going to contain hairballs, you know. That's just... right there, I was laughing when I read that the first time. Its fur is rich in oils and immensely flammable. Litten grooms itself by licking its fur, and then uses the collected fur as fuel for fireball attacks. When the time comes for Litten to shed its old fur, it all burns up in a glorious blaze. Now that's pretty cool. If we could get some video action of that, that would be pretty cool. The move Ember attacks an opponent by firing a small flame at it. Litten knows this move from the moment it becomes your partner. So it gets Ember, which is pretty expected. And the third starter, which I might also get along with Rowlet. I'm debating which one. His name is Popplio. He's the sea lion Pokemon. I definitely think he has an interesting design. I could see some interesting types in its future. It has the ability Torrent, also the basic water starter ability. So as for this one's typing, I've been debating with myself all day. I've had multiple thoughts. The first was water and ice, similar to Walrein, but I'm like, you know, Walrein itself is already pretty good, so I wouldn't want it to replace Walrein. And then I'm like, well, water psychic, that's pretty unique. And then I had a really good thought, and I'm like, it could be a water and fairy type. A water and fairy type. I would love to see that. I would just love to see this as a water and fairy type. If it was water and fairy, there's a pretty good chance I would get it. I mean, it looks pretty cool as it is. I mean, funny. This one looks, you know, Rowlet looks pretty cool. Litten just looks, you know, like he has no care in the world. And then Popplio is just, you know, the funny guy. It's that one group, you know. So I would definitely love to see this as a water and fairy type. So, Popplio's swimming speed is known to exceed 25 miles per hour. It's better at moving in the water than on land. Still, when it's on land, it takes advantage of its elasticity of its balloons to perform acrobatic stunts and jumps. Now, below are some pictures of Popplio, just as you saw with the other starters, and I think that these pictures are really good. So I love this balloon that he just put Rowlet in. That's pretty cool. And I love how he's just jumping on this balloon. That's just so cool, in my opinion. I definitely think that he is really cool. I could see a lot of good things happening, and I really, really, really want him to be a water fairy type. Please, Nintendo. Please, Game Freak. Please. So, Popplio can snort out balloons made of water, which it... I'm sorry, I'm just so excited I'm messing up a lot. Watch it spin water balloons into a playful battle strategy. So it could be similar to Froakies Fribbles in the anime, I could see that. Both frivolous and hardworking, Popplio can easily get carried away, unleashing enough power in battle to make quite a spectacle. But Popplio's determined spirit means it can usually be found practicing hard on its water balloon skills. The water gun move attacks on an opponent by firing a jet of water. Popplio knows this move from the moment it becomes your partner. Like I said, you know, Ember, you know, basic moves. So we were given some more pictures here. Here are the two trailers that I was talking about. Definitely, I'll link these in the comments below to YouTube. Definitely think both of them are good. I think both of them are really good. So let's start with the pictures of the box arts. They're pretty big. I'm just gonna make okay, there we go. And okay, so here's the Pokemon Sun Legendary. I definitely think he looks amazing. I love how he has just like stars on his head right here. I think that's really cool. He does remind me of Pyroar a little bit, which, I mean, it's pretty obvious because he's a lion. His mane looks very similar, but his mane, if you look, is the similar design to the logo for Pokemon Sun, if you look at it. His color scheme is pretty interesting. It's really interesting, actually, in my opinion, how it's just like a ton of white. I don't think we've seen that on any other Pokemon, at least none that I can think of right at the moment. it's very interesting. I think that he's going to be a fire type. That's pretty obvious because sun. As for secondary typing, I don't know if he'll have one. I'm hoping he has one. I don't know if it's just the part of me that wants more fairy types, but I want to say that he could be a fairy type. That would be definitely interesting, fire fairy. But I don't know. Maybe it's just the part of me that wants a lot more fairy types. As I said, as you can see with the water fairy type down, that would just be amazing if Popplio turned into a water and fairy. I'm sorry, but I would love that. Yeah, there's really not much to say about him. We didn't even get to see him attack in the trailer. But as for the next legendary, we weren't given names if I didn't mention that. The next legendary for Pokemon Moon, as you can see, the wings turned into the logo for Pokemon Moon. So I think that's pretty cool how they did that. I definitely think this legendary looks nice, but I do think that the Pokemon Sun legendary looks a lot better. Maybe it's just because it looks like a fire type, and then, I like that. As for the possible typings of this one, I was also debating about it for a while today. And at first when I saw it, I'm like, okay, it looks like it could be a dragon and dark type, or dragon and ghost. And then I started thinking more, well, also it looks like a dark and flying type similar to Yveltal, Yveltal, however you pronounce his name. I know there's lots of pronunciations out there, so I just threw in two of them. And then I got into even more thinking, and I'm like, what if this was just a dark and fairy type? And I think it's completely possible with it being the moon. With it being the moon, it most likely is a dark type. And then the fairy type, just, if you know a little bit about mythology, if you know Diana or Artemis is the moon, and it just sounds like it could be a possible fairy, So it just sounds like it just looks also like it could be a fairy. If you saw it in the trailer, you also get to see it glow, and this just looks amazing. This is actually one of the pictures I was going to show later, but I just think that this looks amazing. This looks so good. We get to see it attack, actually. It looked like Oblivion Wing for a minute to me, but I could be wrong. It could be its signature move, and then you get to see this spiral, which I think is its signature move. Definitely looks like it could be a fairy type move, so I'm hoping it's a dark fairy. So next we actually get a picture, and we'll go back to regular size, of the region. This region is actually known as the Alola region, A-L-O-L-A. Here's a full picture of it. We don't get to see back here very much. There's a port here. So I know there were a lot of theories on this region, that it was Hawaii or Singapore, all these islands. I definitely think it's Hawaii after seeing this image. It looks so much like Hawaii. There was also a theory going around that you would get to go back to Kalos. And if you look closely right here, there's a port. And so if there's a port, I don't really see any other ports around here. Maybe there's a port just supposed to be here or somewhere. But I definitely think that that port could somehow connect to Kalos. And also in Kalos, I don't have any pictures of this, but there's one of the guys in the hotel. If you remember in Kalos, there's those hotels and the people inside of them change. Well, there's this one guy that if you find him 5 days in a row, he would give you the item called the Strange Souvenir, which we have no idea what it does. Lots of people have theorized that it would just be from the train station, get to go to some special event. Well, maybe finally we know where that guy's from, because he also did mention that he is not from Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova, and Kalos. So maybe he's from Alola. That would be cool, And maybe this Strange Souvenir has some use, because it does look like a tiki, and we did get to see some tiki-like objects in the trailer. So that's definitely something. And here are, again, the pictures you saw earlier of Rowlet, Litten, and Popplio. Again, I still think this is pretty good. Yeah. So that was that, and now I'm going to go more in depth on the picture. So here's the Pokemon Sun Legendary. As you can see, you get a closer look on his forehead. I definitely think that I think he was very well designed. I love this design. I can't wait to get more information on him. Same for the Pokemon Moon Legendary. I think this design, now that I look at it, it looks like a Mega Salamence because of his wings, and Mega Salamance's wings, similar design. But I do think that this move could be really cool. I would love for him to be a dark and fairy type. That would be pretty good, pretty hard to go against, in my opinion. I mean, looking at it competitively, it could possibly work. It would work pretty well. And then the last thing I want to go over is this. It was a custom, all those last three are custom screenshots that I took of the video of the trailer. So on the far right is your character. Character customization is back, everyone. I forgot to mention that at the beginning of this video, but yes, it is back, which is amazing. I loved character customization, and I like this design. I like the hat, and also the new graphics. When looking at it, they are so much nicer than XY. XY was pretty good graphics, but these look even better, I got to admit. So here are the three starters, the backsides, and here we have actually two random people. On the back, in the back, with the guy with the hat, that, and it looks like a rainbow, which I think is a nod to the fact that these games were titled Pokemon Rainbow during construction. It was given the codename Pokemon Rainbow, and he has a rainbow, so maybe a little nod to that. This guy in the back, though, he, in the trailer, it was seen that you're his cousin, or I think it was cousin or nephew. I can't remember which one, but I'm hoping that he looks like he is the professor. I don't know what his name is. We weren't given anything. This guy might be his father or something like that, similar to how Juniper and her dad were in Pokemon Black and White. But yeah, I do think that he is the professor. I mean, like, he's a pretty fit professor, though, compared to all the other Pokemon professors, which is pretty interesting. He does look pretty nice. I'd say, like, He's different than a lot of the other professors. He's a lot younger, similar to Sycamore. But I think, and it looks like he could just be, like, surfing a lot. Really, I'm trying to figure out what else to say, but I definitely think that these games are going to be a lot of fun. They're going to be out on November 18th. It was already confirmed. That was the release date. Now, they might have it a little bit later, you know. Anyways, a lot of the things that I said in this video, please know that they were just my theories, other than, you know, pictures. If I said, like how I was saying, I want this to be a water and fairy type, you know, that's just me theorizing right there. So please make sure that, you know, a lot of this was just theorizing and just going over what we were given. But, I definitely think that he is the Pokemon professor. I think that would just be interesting. But yeah, that's about it for this Pokemon Sun and Moon video. If you get any more information, I would definitely like to make another video on this. We were given actually quite a bit of information. Can't wait for more information. Hopefully next month, maybe we'll get the evolutions, because I definitely want to see some evolutions, and I can't wait to see the new Mega evolutions. So that's always going to be nice. So well, tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you think. Who are you going to get? Rowlet, Litten, or Popplio? Tell me which one you're going to get. Tell me what typings you would like for them to become. And comment below if you're going to get Pokemon Sun or Pokemon Moon. But until then, see you guys all next time.